Hello, everybody. Full moon event coming at you. November's full moon. Kaitlynn and Darci. Hello, hello.
Hello.
All right. Kaitlyn's in the Zen Den. Darci is in her office it's office. And I'm in my office as well. So November full moon, Darci, you have the usual breakdown. Oh, by the way, there was the lunar eclipse last night, and Kaitlynn, you got up for it pretty early. It was like right in the middle of the night. How was it for you?
Yes. Um, yeah, I set my alarm for 3:30. It started at 3:09. So when I got up, there was I know it's described as it looked like there was a bite out of the moon. And then, yeah, I watched it until it at like it's like 4:11 when I got back into bed. And then I set my alarm again for 5:15 so that I could see the completion of it, and then stayed up from there. So it was amazing. It was really cool. I sat outside with a blanket and my crystals and my moon water, and did a meditation for like 30 minutes while it eclipsed. And then, yeah, it was great. Just super peaceful and calming, and yeah, really good.
It's amazing. Are you
Beautiful.
still getting like fairly warm weather? Because I know it was like 16 Celsius. So, or was it pretty chilly when you went outside for this? Or were you outside?
I was outside. Yeah, it was chilly. It was 40 Fahrenheit, which I think is single digits Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was chilly and bearable with a blanket and a hoodie, and I had my slippers on, so I was ready for it.
Yeah, right on. Oh, so cool. So cool. And of course, we have, as per usual, for anybody watching the videos, we have our moon water containers here, everybody. Kaitlyn's got her new one there. That's
do.
awesome. Darci's got her
Upgraded.
classic one. Darci, this is the full year that you've been doing this now, right? Was it last November that you started the whole moon water thing?
Yeah, my very first one happened this particular Beaver Moon last year. So yeah.
Yes. And, okay. Why is it the Beaver Moon, by the way? It's like
I got a whole thing prepared.
Okay, wicked.
So
all right. So without further ado, if you don't mind,
yeah,
Darci, give us the breakdown.
Yeah, so it is the Beaver Moon, and as we already talked about, it was the lunar eclipse at 6:02 Eastern Standard Time. Was the fullest part of the moon for this particular one. So they call it the Beaver Moon. And actually, before we start that, it was also called the Frost or the Freezing Moon by the Cree and the Assiniboine. So that's just
cool.
like the beginning of winter when everything starts getting cold and starts frosting up. So they started calling it the Beaver Moon because that's when they would set the traps to try and catch the beavers so that they would have enough fur pelts to keep themselves warm during the winter. And then it's also when the beavers are the most active, trying to get all of their stuff together to prepare for the winter. So this is basically our one last, let's get all of our supplies and hunker down for the winter before the cold moon comes, which is the December moon. So yeah, so it's a time to kind of hunt and gather and get all your supplies, get ready for what's to come, because we're obviously in for a long winter, as we are every single year, especially up here in the north. It's a time to enjoy and indulge without concerns or restrictions. So we're not trying to limit anything at this particular point. All of our stuff is in abundance because we've hunted and gathered all season, and we're just kind of putting the finishing touches on everything. So it's all about just being comfortable with where we are and getting ready for that next step into the winter.
Very cool. I like that. So having that actually, yeah, that gives a very good background as to why the Beaver Moon.
Yeah,
I love that theme too. And yeah, it definitely feels appropriate for. And then so you said the cold moon. That's the name of the December one, right?
Yeah, the cold moon is December moon. So
yeah.
And then I just did a little bit of research on what the beaver represents. Obviously, it's the Canadian animal. It's what represents Canada, but it also is for creativity, creation, cooperation, persistence, and harmony. They give the quote that beavers won't quit until the job is done. So this is their last push into the winter. So
I love that.
For anyone that's almost there, just keep on going. We're almost there. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, rad. Thanks for researching that. That's actually really cool. That really lands with me, like the whole Beaver Moon. That's, you know, and
I figured both of you guys would like that one a lot.
Yeah, I got chills a little bit there.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
I love that. Yeah, really cool. And then
Yeah.
so for tonight, yeah, we're up here in Edmonton. We're definitely at the stage where I think our last full moon was the last time that we could put it outside without it like shattering overnight. So we'll be putting it near like a windowsill where where it can be exposed to the moonlight as the moon passes. By the way, Darci, you went out with the dogs just in the last hour or so to get the car out and running and out of the ice block it was. Oh, and a
Starbucks run.
Starbucks.
Yeah, of course.
And you were able to see it, but it's quite low in the sky right now, right? Like it's very,
it was like I had to drive out of the neighborhood onto the highway, like out of town basically. And it's like right on the horizon, and it was huge and like red because the sun was just setting right now.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, like it looked like I don't know if you guys have ever seen Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, where he like pulls the moon closer like that. Like it looked like that. It was so crazy.
Nice, good reference. You just watched that the other night.
I did.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that last. I was sitting out on my balcony and I was wishing that I could do that. So
there you go.
That's so funny.
There you go. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Cool.
Yeah.
And so is this one? Are you holding on to my? Is this one of these super moons?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
I think
your theory is wrong this time.
five of the six moons of 2022, I swear, were dubbed as super moons. I'm like, okay, the scientists are hyping it a little, like every moon is a super moon now, because this one is not. Okay, but it was a lunar eclipse, which is amazing. So
this one was also, I believe, a blood moon, which just means, it's like more red in the sky.
Has that reddish tone to it, right? Wasn't the last?
Wasn't it a blood super moon?
Of course it was.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wasn't a part of the last one, unfortunately. But there was one that was
I think it was
because that was a fake out last time.
Yeah, right. It was supposed to be orange.
They said it was called the pumpkin moon, and it was supposed to be orange.
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
Orange. And it wasn't. False advertisement.
It was.
I had like a Charlie Brown theme kind of thing going on, the great pumpkin going up in the sky, and I looked at him. We were both like, no, that was kind of more yellow. Like looks like the moon. But yeah,
it looks like the color of the moon.
Yeah, it looks like the color of the moon. Yeah, so no, that's super cool. So Beaver Moon. Lately I've been doing just focusing for myself and without disclosing what the the words and the terms and the such that I've been using, focusing a lot more on like intangible things as opposed to objective, like may I please have, like a kid at Santa for, okay, can I get the transformer? And, I've been focusing on just more, joy, more, those types of things. So more like emotional things, and being grateful and thankful and such as well, like enrobing it in that. So that's been my approach. Having said that, I also had that new moon letter that I wrote myself at the suggestion of you. Darci sent me that crazy chick from TikTok that, well, not crazy, she's but crazy I should say crazy in a good way, like eccentric, that suggested doing that, because I was going into like the Leo time, which is my birth sign. So I still have that letter, and quite a bit of it, honestly, that I've written since July 28th has come true. Not necessarily exactly how I've said it, but there's been like it's not this, but it's this. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually pretty damn close. So, and there were some pretty lofty things, so it was really cool that way. So I continue to put some energy and thankfulness towards that. So how about for the two of you? Is there anything that you can disclose, at the risk of doing the wishing, the birthday wish before you go the candles? You can't say it or otherwise it won't come to fruition, that kind of deal. But is there anything you either of you want to disclose about your moon water? What are you putting out there for vibes wise for tonight?
I'll go first. Obviously this is my now 12th moon water that I've done. I've done the whole kind of circle of asking for things, asking for actual things, asking for peace or harmony, asking for things for other people, thankfulness. I've done the whole 9 yards now. So given that I've gotten literally everything that I've asked for, without exaggeration, every single thing I've asked my moon water for, I've gotten over the last year. I'm feeling incredibly thankful. So I think it'll be more of a thankful moon water for the next little while, just to kind of put all that energy back out to the universe.
Cool.
Yeah,
right on. I love it. Kaitlynn?
Yeah. Sorry, I lost you guys there for 1 second. So if I didn't respond to anything, I apologize. I
All
froze.
good. All good.
My moon water, it boils down to one word this month, that I talked to the moon about last night when I was out there, last night and then again this morning. So that's really all I can say because, it's one word and I can't give that away or yeah.
Gotcha.
One specific word that, is an intention. So
Very cool. Just refined right to that one all important word for, yeah, very cool. Cool. I like it. Intriguing. Awesome. Well, I think I pretty much covers it. Any other finishing quotes or anything you want to mention,
Yeah.
Darci?
Yeah, one last thing actually that I just noticed on my notes here. So the full moon this time is in the sign Taurus. So I don't know. No, none of us are Taurus. You're Aquarius, right?
yep.
Yeah. So apparently this is going to potentially bring up feelings of impulsiveness in people. So again, that's kind of the last minute gathering, the last minute panic before the snow flies or whatever. So if you're feeling slightly more impulsive than you tend to be in general life, then that might have something to do with it.
That's very cool. And this is, this goes back to what we talked about, like the energy that the full moon brings, right? Like I remember when I closed the store, man, there'd be some wackos that always come, all the weirdos that come out, on full moon nights. And I could I remember there'd be like people, customer complaints or just various disturbances. And then I go and get the buggies in the parking lot and look up like, oh, of course it's the full moon tonight,
Yeah.
So it's interesting that we have that's what I like. I like talking about this kind of thing. So thanks, Darci. It's the theme of the energy essentially, because there is this, like, I perceive this anyways, this surplus of extra energy that goes around. So, and I could totally see it manifesting in that sense. And there's like a story as to why, right? Like scrambling for that last push. Like animals, even, I'm sure, like before they go hibernate, they're just like, okay, I need one more. A bear's like, I could go for one more deer. Or like whatever, a couple more rabbits will be good. So yeah, I could totally see that, and interesting to like now I'll be aware of that. So yeah, thanks for passing that on. Super cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And to me, it's like when I hear impulsive and indulgence, like, is there a correlation between those two words? Where my mind went, like, are you indulging impulsively? So that's cool. Also, I work in customer service, and the full moon thing is real.
Yeah, right.
And I read
100%.
last night, I was looking up like how to honor the full moon and how to go into the full moon. And it's like when you intentionally set your energy as positive, then you harness the positive energy from the moon. Whereas those people who don't necessarily do that, that energy can completely like throw them off. So
yeah,
that
that totally
sense.
makes sense. Yeah, they just get more scattered. I imagine it would just amplify whatever's already inside you. Or if you don't have an intention, it's just going to come out in these random scattered patterns otherwise, right? Or if you're super negative, yeah, sure, it could. Yeah, it'll just further amplify that and into troublesome behavior, perhaps. Yeah. Shoplifting. No, I'm just kidding. Not that I ever. Yeah, easy. Sorry, she's getting super specific. It's like thinking back to like
make sure to
stories.
set your energy positive tonight.
Yes, yeah. Okay, there we go. Switched it on. Positive now. Okay. Awesome. All righty. Well, yes, full moon call, the Beaver Moon. We're coming back in December with cold moon. That's gonna be cool because getting into Christmas season, there's coming to the end of the year, lots to reflect on. So I'm looking forward to that full moon call with y'all.
Yeah, same.
Me too.
Cold moon. So sounds good. Happy full moon, everybody that's listening to this as well. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next month for cold moon. Thank you, Darci, and thank you, Kaitlynn.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.